Imagine standing right there at the threshold of a medical career, thinking about a future dedicated to healing, to discovery, really making a difference. It's a huge aspiration. But here in India, the journey to becoming a doctor or a dentist or maybe an AYUS practitioner, well, it's not just about the hard graft, is it? It's a really detailed path, especially when you look at specific states. So today, we're taking a deep dive into exactly that path. We're focusing our lens on the vibrant medical education scene in Manipur. Our mission is pretty clear: cut through all the information noise out there and give you, our curious listeners, some precise, actionable insights. We're going to unpack the key institutions, the backbone of healthcare education in Manipur. We'll navigate the complexities of the NEET entrance exam, especially what's relevant for 2025. We'll also explore the detailed admission process unique to the state, look into other fields like BDS and AYUS courses, and even touch on practical things like costs and student life based on what our sources tell us. Right then, let's get started. When we talk medical education in Manipur, where should aspiring doctors and dentists really be focusing? Which places are the absolute bedrock there?
Okay, yeah. For MBBS, the medical colleges, there are really four main institutions to have on your radar in Manipur. The longest-standing one is the Regional Institute of Medical Sciences, or RIMS. It's right there in Imphal, established way back in 1972. Quite a history, and it offers 125 MBBS seats. Then you've got the Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Medical Sciences, JNIMS, that's in Pormpet, Imphal. A bit newer, established 2010, offering 150 seats. And more recently, actually, two new colleges have expanded the options. There's Churachandpur Medical College, opened in 2022 with 100 seats, and also the Shija Academy of Health Sciences in Imphal, that started in 2021, adding another 150 seats. So, yeah, quite a bit of growth recently.
That's a pretty strong lineup and growing too. Good to see. But what about for those aiming specifically for dentistry? Where are the key places for BDS in Manipur?
For dental, the main one, definitely, is the Dental College at RIMS Imphal. It's a government BDS college, started in 2012, and it offers 50 seats. The sources also mentioned the Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Dental Sciences in Imphal, but RIMS gets more detailed coverage. And what's really notable about the RIMS Dental College is its infrastructure. Spacious lecture halls, modern labs, both preclinical and clinical, and a really well-stocked library. But crucially for dental students, they get significant hands-on experience. This comes from, a large number of patients coming in, giving diverse cases, plus they have active community outreach programs. These things are vital for building practical skills. So students graduate not just with theory, but with, real-world, ready-to-use skills. And yes, they do have hostel facilities available, which helps ensure a comfortable stay.
Right. It's clear these institutions really are the backbone for healthcare education in Manipur, serving that region. But for any of these paths, MBBS or BDS, the journey doesn't just start at the college gates, does it? It absolutely hinges on getting through one major nationwide hurdle: NEET.
Exactly. NEET UG, that's the National Eligibility Come Entrance Test for undergraduate courses, is the compulsory exam. It's the only way in, not just for MBBS and BDS, but also for all the AYUH courses. So that's Ayurveda, Yoga Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, and Homeopathy. Across the whole country, Manipur included. No getting around it.
Okay, so NEET is the gatekeeper. What does that mean for eligibility then, especially looking at NEET UG 2025? Are there any maybe surprising points or common mix-ups people should know about, thinking about age or maybe their academic background?
That's a really important question because eligibility can be, quite nuanced. For NEET UG 2025, a big thing based on a National Medical Commission, NMC letter from March 2022, is that there is no upper age limit. That's a major shift from before, opens things up. Candidates obviously need to have passed their 10+2 or an equivalent exam, and the key subjects are physics, chemistry, biology or biotechnology, including the practicals in English, all compulsory. Mark-wise, for the general category, you need 50% aggregate in physics, chemistry, and biology. For scheduled castes, SC, scheduled tribes, ST, and other backward classes, OBC, it's 40%. Now here's where it gets a bit tricky. There are ongoing legal challenges concerning students who did their class 12 from an open school or as private candidates or maybe took biology, biotechnology as an additional subject. Currently, they're allowed to sit for NEET. Their eligibility is provisionally accepted. But, and this is important, it's subject to the outcome of special leave petitions appeals filed by the Medical Council of India. There's a bit of uncertainty hanging over it for those groups.
Oh, okay. So something to keep an eye on for those specific students.
Definitely. And for Indian citizens, overseas citizens of India, OCI, and foreign nationals, it's crucial to know that even if your plan is to study medicine abroad, you still have to qualify NEET UG here in India first. That trips people up sometimes. Plus, NRI and OCI applicants need to upload a certificate from the relevant Indian diplomatic mission in their country. Oh, and also, OCI cardholders now have specific rights and privileges based on a Supreme Court order from February 2023, which impacts their application.
Wow. Okay. A lot of fine print there, but absolutely critical stuff for anyone applying. Now, talking about NEET UG 2025, the cutoff scores are out, and they've shifted noticeably compared to last year. This is where strategy really comes in. What does that shift tell us? And what about the exam itself this year? What were the big challenges?
Yeah, the 2025 cutoffs are interesting. For the general category, URAWS, the qualifying range dropped. It's now 686 down to 144 marks. That's compared to 720 down to 162 in 2024.
Quite a drop at the top end, especially.
Exactly. It's a significant shift. It could mean a few things. Maybe the paper felt tougher overall, or perhaps the distribution of scores just changed. For the other categories, OBC, SC, ST, and the URAWS, PWBD, persons with benchmark disabilities, the minimum marks range was 143 down to 113. And for the OBC, PWD, SC, PWD, and ST, PWD candidates, the cutoff range was 126 down to 113. So the main takeaway, particularly for general category hopefuls, is that the qualifying bar moved down a bit. It might slightly widen the pool at the lower qualifying end, but obviously you'd still need those high scores for the competitive seats.
And the difficulty of the paper itself, what was the feedback?
Generally, yeah, it was described as pretty challenging. Physics particularly was called lengthy and tough. Lots of focus on modern physics, electrodynamics, thermodynamics, mechanics needing quite a bit of calculation. Chemistry was also seen as lengthy and needing precision, especially the application-based questions. The theory parts were maybe more straightforward. Biology, while mostly sticking to the insert books, was described as conceptual and also lengthy. You really had to read carefully. Apparently, some questions even came from, like, introductory bits or scientist profiles in the textbooks, details many might skip.
So really testing deep understanding and attention to detail, not just memorizing facts.
Precisely. It shows that even sticking to the syllabus, they can really test how well you've absorbed and can apply the material.
Okay, so with NEET sorted, let's get into the actual process for getting a seat in Manipur. What are the nuts and bolts of that online registration? And what about key dates and rules people absolutely must know?
Right, the Manipur NEET counseling for 2025 is all done online. It's handled by the Directorate of Health Services, DHS, Manipur. First step, head to their official website, which is manipurhealthdirectorate.in. Once you're there, you'll look for new registration and create an account. Standard stuff, name, phone number, date of birth, working email address, very important. You need to activate the account after you register. After that, you upload your documents, a passport-sized photo, and a scanned signature. Then you fill in all your academic details carefully. The last step for registration is paying the Manipur NEET counseling fee. It's non-refundable, remember. It's $2,000 for general and OBC categories and a bit less, $1,500 for SC/ST folks. Once that payment goes through successfully and you need the confirmation on the website, not just seeing it leave your bank account, this system will show your completed application form. You absolutely must download and print this. Keep it safe for future reference.
Okay, print it out, keep it safe. Got it. And for people watching the calendar like hawks, what are the absolute latest, most critical dates for this 2025 Manipur NEET admission cycle?
Okay, deadlines are tight. For round one, the registration and actually filling in your choices of colleges that closed on August 10th, 2025, so that window is shut. The Manipur NEET merit list for 2025 was released just after, on August 11th, 2025. And the next big one, the seat allotment result for Manipur NEET 2025 admission. That's expected to be declared on August 14th, 2025. So very soon. These dates are immediate and crucial.
Right, happening right now, practically.
Pretty much. And the way the counseling usually works is DHS Manipur runs 2 main rounds and then maybe a mop-up round if there's still vacant seats. It's all online. You register, fill your choices. Seats are then allotted based on your rank and what you chose. If you get a seat, you download the allotment letter, and then you have to physically go to the college in the given time, pay the fees, and confirm your spot. If you don't get a seat in round 1, or maybe you're not happy with it, you can participate in round 2 or the mop-up round later.
Yeah.
Though you usually have to register again for the mop-up round.
Okay. And are there any, common mistakes or really strict rules people often stumble over during the application?
Yes, absolutely. There are a few really critical ones. First, and this is a big one, there is no correction facility after you finally submit the online form. You can edit things before you hit that final submit button, but once you click it, that's it. So triple check everything.
Oh, my back. Ouch.
Exactly. Second, you absolutely need a valid mobile number and email ID. They're used for OTP verification during the process. No OTP, no progress. Also, incomplete forms, or forms where the uploaded photo, signature, or documents are blurry or unclear, they just get rejected. The online verification is strict. And it sounds obvious, but only candidates who have actually qualified NEET UG can even fill out the form. You can't apply if you haven't cleared the NEET hurdle. And lastly, don't even think about trying to submit offline or by post. It's a purely online process. Only the payment confirmation on the official website counts as proof of payment, too.
That's a solid breakdown, thanks. Now, this leads to a really important strategic question. Is Manipur considered an open state or a closed state for MBBS admissions? How does that impact who can actually apply for those state quota seats?
Right, this is key. Manipur is effectively a closed state for its state quota seats. This is because of their specific domicile requirements. They strongly prioritize local candidates. To be eligible for what they call Manipur government nominee seats, you need to meet certain criteria. Either you're domiciled by birth in Manipur, or one of your parents must have lived continuously in Manipur for over 20 years, or alternatively, one parent needs to be in state government service or work for an institution substantially owned or controlled by the Manipur government.
So pretty strict criteria. If you don't meet those, the state quota is basically off the table for you.
Pretty much, yeah. It significantly limits the options for students who aren't considered Manipur residents under those rules.
Okay. And how do reservation policies fit into all this? Thinking about students from different backgrounds and how it works for both state quota and the all-India quota.
Yeah, reservations are applied, but differently for each quota. For the state quota seats, it's the reservation policy of the Manipur state government that applies. So specific percentages for SC, ST, OBC, etc., according to Manipur's own rules. But for the all-India quota AIQ seats, these are seats in government colleges, government-aided ones, national institutes, central universities across India. For those, the central government reservation policies use. That means 15% for SC, 7.5% for ST, and a 5% horizontal reservation for PWBD, persons with benchmark disabilities. And then there's also 27% for OBC, non-creamy layer, and 10% for EWS, economically weaker sections. But these OBC EWS percentages are specifically for national institutes and central universities within the AIQ, not necessarily all government colleges under AIQ. So it's a bit layered. State rules for state seats, central rules for AIQ seats.
Understood. A layered system indeed.
And just to reiterate, NEET UD isn't just for MBBS. It's the single test for BDS Bachelor of Dental Surgery and also for all the AU courses too. That covers BAMS, Ayurveda, BHMS, Homeopathy, and BUMS, Unani, BSMS Siddha as well.
Right. It's fascinating how many different medical systems are formally recognized and regulated here in India. It's not just about the Western models. So if someone's thinking about Unani or Ayurveda, what should they know? And how does Manipur fit into that AYUSH picture?
Absolutely. Reflects India's rich medical heritage. So yes, admissions to all undergrad seats in Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and Homeopathy go through NEET UG 2025. And these admissions follow the rules set by the National Commission for Indian System of Medicine, NCESM, and the National Commission for Homeopathy, NCH. They're the regulatory bodies under the Ministry of Ayush. Eligibility for BAMS, BSMS, BHMS is pretty similar to MBBS, BDS. You do have passed class 12 or equivalent with physics, chemistry, biology, and English individually. And the minimum marks in PCB are 50% for general, 40% for reserved categories. There are also specific NEET percentile cutoffs for AUSH courses. It's the 50th percentile for general, 40th for SC/ST/OBC, 45th for general PWBD, and 40th for SC/ST/OBC PWBD candidates. Counseling works similarly too. The All-India Quota AIQ seats for AUEH are handled centrally by the Ayush Admissions Central Counseling Committee, AACCC. But the state quota AUEH seats, those are managed by the respective state governments, just like for MBBS, BDS. So Manipur would handle its own state quota AUEH seats.
Okay. And you mentioned BUM Unani medicine. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure. BUMS, the Bachelor of Unani Medicine and Surgery, it's a 5.5-year undergraduate degree. It's based on the ancient humoral theory of medicine. In terms of career, a fresh BUMS graduate might start with a salary around, say, Rs. 20,000 to Rs. 30,000 per month. With experience, that could potentially rise to Rs. 50,000, maybe even Rs. 1,000 per month. Now, regarding Manipur specifically, while the state is listed as having BUMS colleges, our sources don't actually give specific names or fee details for Unani institutions within Manipur itself. Generally speaking, across India, BUMS fees can vary quite a bit, maybe Rs. 10,000 to Rs. 1,050,000 a year. Government colleges are usually much cheaper, of course.
Right. So maybe less common or detailed info available specifically for BUMS and Manipur compared to MBBS or BDS. Okay, let's switch gears a bit now to the really practical side. Pursuing medical education anywhere is a big commitment. What about in Manipur? What do we know about the financial side, the expenses, and what's student life like based on the info we have?
Well, on the fees front, we do have a specific figure for the dental college at RIMS Imphal. The annual fee for the BDS course there is $26,000.
Okay, $26,000 for BDS at RIMS Dental. That's quite specific.
Yeah. And as we just touched on for a Mayor MS, the general range across India is wide, like 10,000 to 1,050,000 per year, with government places usually being cheaper. We don't have exact figures for Manipur BUMS colleges from these sources, but you'd expect government ones, if they exist, to be at the lower end. We don't have specific MBBS fee figures for the Manipur colleges from this outline either.
Understood. And what about living, accommodation?
Well, the RIMS Dental College example is useful again here. It explicitly offers hostel facilities for students. The goal, as stated, is to provide a comfortable place to stay with the essential amenities. That's a pretty big deal for students, especially those moving from other places. Having reliable accommodation sorted lets you focus on the demanding studies.
Definitely takes a weight off.
Exactly. Now, our sources focus mostly on the admissions and institutions, so we don't get detailed day-in-the-life accounts of medical students in Manipur, or specific reasons why students might choose to study outside Manipur, or why others might come to Manipur. But the fact that a major institution like RIMS provides hostels suggests there's an infrastructure aiming to support the student body.
Okay, so we have some concrete info on fees for BDS at RIMS and confirmation of hostels there, but maybe less detail on the broader student experience across all colleges or why students move in or out of the state for studies.
Right. So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener, whether you're planning your applications right now or maybe thinking a few years down the line? We've journeyed through the core medical and dental colleges in Manipur. We've sort of peeled back the layers of the NEET exam, especially the 2025 details. We navigated Manipur's specific admission process, those dates, the rules. We even touched on the AYU-SH world. It's clearly a path that needs, well, not just serious academic prep, but also really careful attention to every single administrative detail. And understanding how those national rules like NEET interact with state specifics in Manipur?
Absolutely, if you connect it all.
Right.
This intricate dance between national standards like NEET and the state-level policies like Manipur's domicile rules or its own counseling schedule, it really highlights something important, a deep understanding of how these layers work together. That can genuinely make all the difference in actually securing that medical seat you're aiming for. It's not just about your score. It's about navigating the whole system effectively.
Well said. So as you continue plotting out your own medical career path, here's something to think about. How might becoming a doctor or dentist or AYU-SH practitioner within a specific regional context like Manipur uniquely shape your whole approach to healthcare? What vital role do you think local understanding, that cultural context, plays in truly serving diverse communities across India? And how might that influence the kind of practitioner you aspire to become? Something to mull over.